Hi, you guys. It's me, it's Coco again. So, I promised you guys that I was going to come to you guys and do the first video on credit repair. You can do it all by yourself. You do not need a credit repair company. Um, for certain things, I would advise, but we'll get into that later. Now, yes, I am in the comfort of my bed this time, as I am going straight to bed right after this. It is 2:47 a.m. So you could only imagine. I know I promised I'd do it by the 22nd, but some people believe that because the sun hasn't come up yet, that it's still considered the 22nd. But it's after midnight, so it's actually the 23rd. And this will be when I do the videos because I literally work all day. So, the next video, it'll be, between days and put it like that. Anyway, so just to kind of jump right into things. Now, first and foremost, we were talking about collection agencies and the actual debtor that you've actually gotten the debt from. So, let's say for whatever reason, you go to, let's say, a car lot and you get a car from them. So once you get that car, then you now, or for whatever reason, you default on that and you send the car back or it gets repoed, whatever, it then goes on your credit, which is not good. Because now, not only did they do at least one hard inquiry on your credit for that, they've also now added something new on your credit. So let's get into how that works. So what these companies do, usually either every quarter, which is every 3 months, or they'll do it every 6 months, or they'll do it once a year, which is annually. What they'll do is they'll find a collection agency and sell that debt to that collection agency for pennies on a dollar. Now, let's say the debt was, let's say, $20,000. Well, they'll sell the entire debt to the collection agency, let's say for $5,000. And when I say pennies on a dollar, I literally mean pennies on a dollar. They'll sell that debt to that collection agency for $5,000. Then what these companies are able to do, the car lot is able to do, the main person you had the debt with, what they're able to do is they are able to continue to keep that on your credit. But all of these companies, keep in mind, have insurance. It is mandatory for a business to have insurance. What they do is either quarterly, every 6 months, or annually, is they will write that off on that insurance policy of theirs. And what they call it is a bad debt claim. So that means they recoup their money through their insurance company. So they're not losing anything. They may even, in some cases, they may even get that full 20 back, plus the 5,000, whatever the amount was that they sold to the collection agency. So now that debt no longer belongs to that company that you actually pulled that debt with. It now belongs to the collection agency, and they have recouped all of their money. Now, in about 2 seconds, it's going to make sense to you as to um, why that is very important. So now the collection agency has your debt, and they are calling your phone. They're sending you letters. They're threatening you. We're gonna take you to court. The whole nine. Yeah, they'll go all the way out. Cardinal rule number one: what you don't want to do is, let's say they call your home they're trying to get their money. So they'll call, and they will call all hours of the day and night. That's illegal as hell because it's only supposed to be during business hours for starters. But that's a whole nother show we'll get into later. What they'll do is they'll continue to call you. Now, the one mistake people make is trying to make a deal with this collection agency to either make payments, set up a payment plan, or just by answering the phone. If you answer that phone, the one thing you have done is you have verified that debt, and they can come after you. You are now claiming that debt. All of those phone calls are recorded. So if you answer that phone and just as much as answering the phone and saying, "Oh yeah, this is me," you're pretty much claiming that debt with them. And as long as they have it on recording, that's all they need. So now you owe that collection agency. So what you don't do is answer the phone. You do not tell them who you are. You just don't. So at that point, I mean, there are ways that you can slip through that loophole, and we'll get into that as well. But because we're at the beginning and you guys are just beginners, just don't answer the phone. So now I'm going to explain to you why that is so significant. So this car lot is who you signed your contract with. They're the ones that you made the agreement with to make the payments and whatever, what have you. The collection agency is not. You never signed a contract with them. Just because that car lot sold your debt to a collection agency does not transfer that to you. Legally, that is no longer your debt because they've already gotten their money by filing that insurance claim. So it's almost like they're double dipping, if that makes sense. So then, if in fact the collection agency calls you, you do not owe the collection agency because you do not have a contract with them. And they can continue to come after you all they want. So what you do, you will go on to the credit bureau websites, not what is that crap called? Those little third party craps. I hate those. I really hate those because they don't do their job. They're giving you an estimate of actually what your real score is. They're not giving you all of your full information. You have to legally go on. You have to legitimately, go on to TransUnion. You have to go on to the other two. You get my gist. You have to go on the actual website and dispute that. And the way that you do that, when you go on those websites, your first part of your dispute is going to say, "I do not own that debt." The second part is, "I do not have a contract with this company." So what that does is that forces the credit company to require they show proof of that. And when they cannot, because remember, keep in mind, you never signed a contract with them, you signed it with the car lot. It does not transfer. That is not how it works. What they then do is they are forced, they have 30 days to show proof of that. At that point, they're going to really start blowing your phone up because they need to be able to verify that debt so that they can keep it on your credit. That's why you don't answer the phone. So, at that point, they have 30 days to verify that debt or to find a way to get you to sign a contract so that you would be responsible for paying that to them, not the actual company that you took out the credit with. See how simple that is? Yeah, very easy. Now, Something else I noticed, we're going to go ahead and briefly talk the basics of hard inquiries. Now, a lot of these companies, like I said, I told you guys once before, I dealt with a guy literally over a 2-year period. Every 2 weeks, they did a hard inquiry. He never pulled a line of credit from this credit card company, but they ran his credit every 2 weeks, which is a hard inquiry. Now, I don't have a calculator in front of me, and I'm gonna let y'all do the math on that. But calculate, we'll go for the bare minimum. We'll do 2 points per inquiry, a total of 76 hard inquiries. Do the math. That's over 150 points missing off of his credit. So let's say his credit score is probably a 445. Oh, let's do one better. Let's make it a nice little round number. Let's say it's at 400. Okay, so he's looking at what, 550? That's a huge difference for a hard inquiry. Now, the kicker about these hard inquiries that most people do not know, a lot of these companies will trick you. And they'll ask you, hey, is it okay if I do a hard inquiry? And naturally, if you're looking to pull a line of credit, or you're looking to, lease a car or something of that nature, you're going to just say, yeah, because that's what they have to do in order to find out if you're qualified. So your first instinct is just to say yes. And they go ahead and do it. Now, what these companies are supposed to do, they are supposed to make you sign some kind of contract with them, giving them the okay to run your credit the one time. And a lot of times they don't, because they know they run your credit more than once. So not only are you able to remove that one hard inquiry that they asked you about, you can remove all the rest. So you no longer have those hard inquiries at all on your credit. Simple as that. And when you go to those credit companies like TransUnion, Equifax, things like that, you go on there, and when you go to dispute that, you tell them, I never gave permission for them to do this hard inquiry. I have no knowledge of this company. And since they don't have the proper paperwork, guess what? They have to remove it. They have 30 days to remove those hard inquiries. And when they don't, that's when the cease and desist letters come in. So you're looking at about, on average, unless you want to just go straight for the gusto, and you can go straight to the company and send the hard inquiry. But you always, always, always do your hard inquiries. When you send a cease and desist letter, you never do it any other way but through certified mail with a return receipt, period. Because you need that paperwork. So when you send that cease and desist letter, they have 30 days. Because what'll happen sometimes that I've noticed is they will flat out lie. We never received anything of the sort. We've never received a cease and desist letter. We have no idea what you're talking about. They know, and they received it. But with that return receipt, somebody has to sign for it. So there is no, I didn't get it. See how that works? So 30 days after that letter is received and nothing is changed, you go right down to that courthouse and you file your paperwork. Now, those cease and desist letters, those, if what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my email, the Kai Project email, inside of the the comments, so you guys can find it. If in fact you guys need the cease and desist letter, depending on what exactly it is you're disputing, what type of company should I say you're disputing it with, you would leave that information. Just tell me like the name of the company. Like I can always look it up and find out exactly, what type of company this is and what type of what line of credit this is. That way I can get you the right cease and desist letter. And it will be the letter would actually be something like in general. So the only thing you would change, I will leave a space so that way the only thing that you would do is enter the name of the company. And then you can go ahead and send it that way. Make it really easy for you. But yeah, I'll leave that information in the comment box. That way you guys can just email me. And I do check those twice a week. I do apologize. I wish I could check them sooner. I am actually looking into getting an assistant because I do have a lot on my plate. So twice a week, I'll be checking those emails and getting back to everyone, and those comments. You should, if I don't respond to you immediately with the comments, once a week when I do the recordings, I will be checking those as well. So go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe. If you have any questions or concerns, go ahead and leave a comment, and I'll get back to you no later than the following Monday. You guys, it's been great. We are going to stomp out this unfair debt, treatment. I mean, I love doing this stuff because they've slipped through so many loopholes that so many people have no idea about. And there are so many people in the United States struggling with credit scores and credit, period. And it's just not fair that these capitalists can actually just get away with doing these things. This is why this is called the Kai Project, because the knowledge is yours. You guys have a great night. It's been real.